Wenye nchi, how are you doing? How are you? I hope you are okay. Yes, it's me again with another one. Today we want to look at the one and only Kasmuel McOure. In a recent interview in Fixing the Nation on NTV, Kasmuel McOure claimed that they already did a pre-election agreement with the Kenya Kwanza government, as he is the leader of Youth for Broad-Based Youth Front. So let's hear the interview first, then we get into it right away.
The reason why I even started the Broad-Based Youth Front, and is to bolster support, and I have to be very categorical. It will be to bolster support for the re-election of President William Ruto. I say this because I've analyzed the political landscape. Nobody is truly speaking for the youth. The youth as a constituency have still been left out. Working backwards, looking at the numbers, presidential election have always been won by maybe a margin of about 200,000. If you look at where President Ruto was last year, where he couldn't stand in front of a crowd, and to the point where he can go back to Central where he was a social pariah and have people chanting two-term, I ask myself, will I wait to be a part? Because the Broad-Based Youth Front has already signed the provisional pre-election agreement that everyone who is in political parties will have to mobilize their support so that as young people we can have a voice inside the decisions that govern the country, because otherwise we will have to resign our fates to people like Sifuna, who will say that they speak for the young people.
So for your political expediency, you've seen a two-term is coming and you joined the two-term bandwagon.
But also as a young person.
Thanks for being honest.
Yes, that is one. That is actually the primary reason. But
Kasmuel McOure, from Z Firebrand to broad-based believer. Is it for principle or position? Let's talk about Kasmuel McOure, a young man whose political journey has been faster than Nairobi traffic changing lanes without indicators. 1 minute, he is the face of Gen Z rage, tear gas survivor, microphone grabbing revolution, loudly telling William Ruto hii serikali imefail. Next minute, he is on NTV's Fixing the Nation, calmly announcing that Youth for Broad-Based Government has signed a pre-election agreement with William Ruto, and that two-term is the way forward for youths to be in government beyond 2027. Kenyans post scratched heads, checked if the TV remote was faulty. Because this is not a small pivot, this is a political somersault with a full landing. From protest to pre-election agreement, what changed? Let's be honest and fair. Politics allows growth. People can change minds. Even Saul became Paul. But Kenyans are not questioning change. They are questioning speed, timing, and incentives. Kasmuel rose to national prominence during the Gen Z protest, a movement defined by anti-government sentiment, opposition to economic hardship, rejection of elite political deals, and outright hostility to anything called broad-based government. Fast forward, the same Kasmuel is now supporting broad-based government, signing agreements with Ruto before an election, and arguing that youth must be inside government to influence power. That's not evolution. That's a career fast-tracked through the express lane of convenience. Then there's the issue of Sifuna obsession. Is it a coincidence or assignment? Because even in that interview that we've just watched, he attacked Sifuna. Even after ODM party said that they look for other alternative mediation mechanisms to settle their matters, he still went for Sifuna. Now let's connect the dots carefully, not conspiratorially, not using conspiracy. Kasmuel has become one of the loudest critics of Edwin Sifuna, ODM Secretary General. And not just criticism, it is targeted, it is repetitive, it is personal criticism, calling for Sifuna to be de-whipped, Sifuna to be removed, Sifuna to stop sabotaging government. Why? Because Sifuna represents something inconvenient. He is anti-broad-based government. He insists ODM must consult its grassroots. He refuses to sanitize state house politics with party logos. And here's the irony. Sifuna is doing exactly what Gen Z demanded. That is, accountability, independence, and resistance to elite consensus. So, why would a former Gen Z darling be attacking the very principles Gen Z stood for? Simple answer is Simple answer in Kenyan politics is that when interests change, principles get rebranded as noise. Is it a broad-based government or broad-based recruitment? Kasmuel argues that joining government is about ensuring youths are in power beyond 2027 and not depending on the likes of Sifuna to fight for the youths. That sounds noble until you ask one uncomfortable question. Which youths? Because youth inclusion in Kenyan politics often means one youth in government, 10 press conferences, 20 hashtags, and 0 structural change. And the language used, pre-election agreement, is key. This is not post-election cooperation. This is early alignment, which in Kenyan politics usually comes with future promises, strategic silence, and political assignments. Nobody needs to accuse anyone. The pattern explains itself. So, why Sifuna must go from a power perspective? From a purely strategic angle, if you are building a broad-based coalition, a government-friendly ODM, and a smooth road to 2027, then Edwin Sifuna is a problem. He is loud, legally grounded, popular with urban youth, and allergic to political deals done in private. So if you want ODM compliant, you don't fight Raila. Okay, you don't fight Oburu. You don't fight Wanga. You fight the Secretary General who controls the party engine. And suddenly, new voices appear calling him incompetent. Kenyan Politics 101. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Did Kasmuel betray Gen Z? Betrayal is a strong word, but disappointment is factual. Gen Z didn't march for pre-election agreements, political appointments, or youth representation through handshakes. They marched for economic justice, accountability, institutional reform, and an end to elite recycling. Joining government is not wrong, but joining without delivering reforms fast feels like we protested, negotiated, and only one of us got the deal. That's not inclusion, that's absorption. Is Kasmuel a state agent? No proof. Is he a useful political instrument right now? Absolutely. Is his current role assigned with weakening dissent inside ODM? Objectively, yes. And yes, the uncomfortable truth of Kenyan politics. Revolutions don't always get crushed. Sometimes they get recruited. Kasmuel McOure may argue he is securing the future for youth, but history will judge whether he entered power to change the system or change sides to enter the system. Because in Kenya, the line between activism and appointment is very thin, and once crossed, you can't control the narrative anymore. You become part of it. That's my small analysis for today. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's have many years at HiiStory. Thank you.